I would love to get back on a dirt bike. Maybe at some point I'll do it in some capacity.
Justin Minner. Good job, Justin!
Just with the love of dirt bikes that I have a feeling if I get back on a dirt bike, I'm gonna be right back to going hard and twisting the throttle as hard as I can as I was before.
White flag, one to go. Minner trying to hold on.
Justin, great job. Thanks. I'd like to thank my mom and dad, my sister, Interlake Sports Center, Doug Cook, my grandpa, Steve Snyder.
One day I came home from school. My dad told us to go out to the barn. He said there's a new calf out there for us. And at first I walked in and I did a quick scan of the barn. I was like, oh, I don't see any cattle in here. And he's like, going a little further, and on the side of one of the pens there's a dirt bike there, and instantly hooked. And from there on it was pretty tough to get me off of it.
You know, when we first started dating and being around each other, dirt bikes was a really big part of his life. So it was, you know, farming, dirt bikes, and being with his family were the three big things that really stuck out.
All the week we'd be busting hard to get the farm work done, and then we'd race Saturday and either drive home that night or Sunday and then come back and it'd be right back to work again.
10, 15 years he probably raced, and yeah, it was a second love, I should say, compared to the farming.
I guess to me, it just, everything else kind of melted away. Nothing else really mattered. It's just you and the machine, and you're kind of tuned into it, whether you're racing or just out riding. To me, it was therapeutic and a way to clear my mind and kind of just be at peace, so to say.
Sunday afternoon.
It's definitely a feeling and a moment that I'll never forget, and I'll carry with me forever. The day of the accident, we were down being what was called rovers.
Basically, our job was rovers to go around and make sure people made it back safe.
So if somebody knocks a marker down, you know, we put it back up, or if there's a big rock that gets in the way or something that's causing people's issue, you know, we monitor that sort of thing.
We were talking about the events that were gonna happen that week, you know, at the home. You know, we had fence to build, we had a wagon to do something to. We were talking just normal stuff, like a normal annual day like everybody else has.
The race had actually finished. We're making one last lap around, just making sure everybody was cleared and off. And a portion of that course was on the motocross track, which I had ridden many times as being a member of the club. And it was a jump that I've hit hundreds of times. Front tire caught the rain rut, and I went over the bars, and then the bike actually ended up hitting me in the middle of the back, and that's what kind of exploded my two vertebrae and all my ribs and stuff around it.
I came up over the hill and I saw him laying off to the left right away. I dropped my bike, I went to him, and first thing he said to me is, "I'm sorry, Dad, but I think I'm paralyzed," which really hurt.
Thankfully, the medics were still there from the race, and so he was able to get them right away, and they were able to attend to me, you know, shortly, and then I was able to get to the hospital not very long after the actual accident.
15, 20 minutes after we got there, they brought us into a room. The doctor came in, explained the thing to us. I didn't understand what it was. I was in shock yet. Can't understand what was going on.
You know, I knew the environment, so I think that helped me in my space, because I know what the trauma bay looks like. I know, fortunately for me, I knew all the physicians and most of the nurses that were there too, so I think that was, you know, somewhat comforting knowing that he had a good team there to help him as well. So I think that helped, but I think, you know, initially it's just kind of that shock, and you can't really put it in perspective, I guess, of, you know, what's all gonna happen.
We were in the room. Doctor talked to us. A couple friends came in, the new Kendra. We had a talk for a little bit, and yeah, that was pretty much day one.
there's a lot of firsts.
That's a good one.
I always call it like I was a toddler, because I had to learn how to dress myself again, how to shower, how to do everything, basics, even down to teaching you how to maneuver around a kitchen, ways to get things in and out of the oven. It just, every little thing you'd never would have thought of, you'd had to learn how to do again and how to control your body.
When we talked on the phone, the sound of his voice knows that he wasn't giving up. He kept telling me that he's coming back as soon as possible to help. Nothing was letting him down.
In rehab, that was his biggest thing, is getting back to the farm. I think that was his whole motivation, probably partially why he went through it so quickly, because he had a time frame that he wanted to be back on, so I think we were sticking to that time frame.
Nice, dude.
I think if you meet any farmer, we're all kind of stubborn in our own right. We always, there might be a solution to something, and we're all going to come to the right conclusion, but we're going to do it 50 different ways to get there. And I think it's just the mindset of farming, because you have to have a no-quit drive. I think it's something that has been instilled in me from I was young. When you have a problem, you find a way to overcome it and you move on.
I wanted him back in the worst way, but I didn't say it to him. I wanted him to decide. I wanted him to decide if he wanted to do this or not. I wasn't going to force him. We talked a while. He said, "Dad, if you have me, I'm going to come back on the farm." And I said, "We're going to do it then. We're going to make it work. If it takes us long, that's fine. We're going to make it work." And that's what we did.
Yeah, I think it was like a Wednesday. We went down and met with my neurosurgeon, and they did scans and everything, checked everything out, and they're like, "Yep, you're all healed up, good to go." And we got home, and I think that was maybe late afternoon, and so they were, kind of getting close to wrapping up for the day. And the next morning, they put me in the combine, and that's when the real healing began. It was a very special moment. My mom, my dad, my sister were all there, and truly I didn't feel paralyzed for the first time since the accident when I was sitting in there, because everything is ran by hand. You got the one joystick that runs everything on the head, and then the steering wheel is the other portion of it, and you don't need to use your feet in it. It was a good first piece of equipment to be back in after my accident.
Justin loves technology. He loves trying to find something new, easier to improve on things, make things easier.
So I'm dumping at the plants. We've actually got a camera mounted on the license plate bracket that shoots back underneath the truck so I can see when the corn's done dumping or not.
One of his greatest advances that helps him out is his lift he has on the back of his pickup.
So when I was at rehab at Craig, they've got a person there that kind of helps somebody doesn't know what they want to do for a job. Obviously I was a farmer before and I wanted to continue farming. And so they'd kind of set me up with some resources and put me in contact with Folk Rehab. What they do is basically help you get back to work. And so they were able to purchase some expensive equipment for me. The biggest one was my pickup lift. So I've got a lift on my pickup that'll pick me up out of the driver's seat and put me into any of our equipment that we have. It's all run off a remote, so I can do it completely by myself, and I'm not dependent on somebody. Now I can independently get in and out of equipment, and that was huge.
Serious, second day home, and he's already screwing around in Mama's General to see if he slides around the corner.
He's always going to have that competitive nature to him no matter what it is.
Where are you betting? No, he's going quiet.
Even on the farm for things, you're like, I don't know if we should probably do that.
Yep.
But we're going to try it anyways, and you just kind of hope for the best.
Here comes the checkered flag for Justin Menard.
Yeah, first place. Woo! Yay, Justin!
I think that was just part of inherited of Justin from him growing up, starting with racing his motorcycles. You have a bad race, you have an accident, you fall down, you get back up, you go again. He had a major setback in 2020. He moved forward. He's not let that define him as a parent, and I'm sure my wife Lori agreed to. We're both very proud of Justin.
I wouldn't be able to keep farming if it wasn't for my family and their love of me to, help me keep going. This is one thing I'm good for. I got better eyes yet. I'm a firm believer that we all kind of carry our own cross. Mine's just obviously very visible, but everybody's going through something at some point or another. And whether it's good or bad, it will pass. Find your little wins, find, your positives, and even when things seem as bad as they are, they're not truly that bad, and at some point it's gonna change.